Welcome back to the Tempo Storm deck introduction series for the Witchwood meta, this time featuring a slightly off-meta pick in Odd Fatigue Warrior. Although the meta snapshot has this deck listed in the 4th tier, the deck has put up notable performances with Fury Hunter using this build in his lineup to win DreamHack Summer, and Dog taking his build all the way in the Americas Preliminary Tournament to qualify him for the Seasonal Championship. While the deck's matchups can be quite polarized, there's no doubt that this deck is very powerful and able to put up very strong results in the right hands. Odd Warrior takes advantage of Baku's ability to transform the warrior's hero power into Tank Up, which allows the deck to stack an incredible amount of armor and grind down offenses to a halt. In fact, we can gain armor twice as quickly as traditional Control or Fatigue Warrior and their Armor Up hero power prior to the Witchwood expansion. The main plan with this deck is to use efficient removal like Shield Slam, Reckless Flurry, Brawl, Big Game Hunter, Gore Howl, and Rush minions to stop our opponent's aggression while finishing the game by Fatigue, Elise the Trailblazer, or any of our larger minions. On ladder, this deck definitely wants to avoid playing against combo decks like Shutterwalk Shaman and Togwaggle Druid, but loves to be paired against Odd Paladin, Even Shaman, and other mid-range decks that rely on tempo to win games. Despite our lack of Warpath and Bloodraiser, cards like Whirlwind, Brawl, and Reckless Flurry allow us to not only stabilize in these matchups, but are flexible enough in mana for us to play minions behind them. This is what can make laddering so tricky, as the matchups range from fantastic to abysmal, so hitting a favorable patch of opponents on ladder can make or break a legend run. Although the deck packs 2 copies of Whirlwind for aggressive strategies, namely Odd Paladin, they can be paired with King Mosh to turn them into a 2-card board clear for medium and large size minions that also develops a 9/7 threat. The Faceless Manipulator is a flexible card that can be used in a variety of situations, but its most notable combo within the deck is with Direhorn Hatchling. It can be used to copy the front half of the Hatchling to provide for an extra card to fight through fatigue, but can also be used in combination with Direhorn Matriarch as a wall against aggro. Remember that Reckless Flurry removes all armor, so be sure to tank up after using it. This is a mistake many players accidentally make by force of habit because of how you would tank up before using Shield Slam most of the time. Don't forget that Gluttonous Ooze gains armor, and that can be combined with Shield Slam or Reckless Flurry in a pinch. Azalina Soul Thief is a card that sees play to be able to beat Rin the First Disciple and the Azari that she brings along. After the Warlock player completes all seals and gets Azari in their hand, you can play Azalina to get your own copy of Azari to remove their deck and stay relatively close in the fatigue race. The biggest tip for the deck is to find tech that works for the meta you're facing. The build featured here was the build that Dog played in the Americas Preliminary Tournament, so his specific build is unlikely to be the right build for you. Without the right answers for the threats you see, you can find yourself holding dead cards that do little to nothing in a given matchup. Azalina is the first to come to mind as an initial cut, as Q-Block isn't the scourge of the ladder that it once was, and even when played now, it doesn't usually play Rin. This tech, while effective, is arguably outdated. A second copy of Ironbeak Owl is generally a very wise inclusion, as it's a flexible answer to many problematic situations at a very reasonable cost. Another card that provides powerful effect for its cost is Mind Control Tech. A good mind control tech can be the difference between winning and losing, and can steal a strong minion in many situations. Early on in the expansion, there was experimentation with playing Fireplume's Heart, but that has generally been abandoned as it can be difficult to justify playing Quest and Baku, and most players have opted for just one build or the other. That being said, when a Quest Odd Warrior assembles their win condition, it's really hard to beat. While not in many lists these days, Fiery War Axe is a strong anti-aggro card, but it's fairly weak against control. As the deck is already very strong against aggro, most lists choose not to run the once dominant weapon, but it can be fit into lists if the local meta is especially aggressive. In conclusion, Fatigue Warrior is an old powerhouse that hasn't completely fallen out of favor in the game's mid-range meta state. Its strengths and weaknesses are transparent, but so are the deck's game plan and defense strategy. As long as you can avoid Shutterwalk Shaman in the current meta, Odd Fatigue Warrior's resilient game plan makes the deck a solid addition to your arsenal of decks to finish the season strong. Thank you for tuning into this edition of our Witchwood deck introduction series. If you have any specific deck you would like us to cover in the future, feel free to suggest it to us in the comments section. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date with Tempo Storm news and Hearthstone content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.